the loneliest smile. We smile without any style. We kissed all together wrong, no intention. We lied about each other's dreams. We lived without each other, thinking what anyone would do without me and you. It's like I told you, only the lonely can play. So hold on, here we go. Hold on to nothing we know. I feel so lonely way up here. You mentioned the time we were together so long ago, but I don't remember. All I know is it makes me feel good now. It's like I told you, only the lonely can play. Only the lonely, only the lonely can play. It's like I told you, only the lonely can play. Only the lonely, only the lonely can play.
Anybody trading the Bitcoin? I'm using my magical robots on the Bitcoin. I'm gonna test out the Bitcoin bots tonight. That's my experimental situation. Running the experimental. I took my ATR bot and added 2 zeros to it to make it Bitcoin qualified. I also have Litecoin in here if I really wanted to go full bit mode. Look for all the symbols.
I've been walking in the sun. I'll be home when day is done. I love my baby, she's the one. I call my babe my honey bun. Well, any way you want me to, I'll do anything for you. Yeah, I'll do anything for you. Any way you want me to. I love my baby, you know I do. Well, I'll do anything for you. I got you, baby, in my arms. I love you, babe, so soft and warm. Well, any way you want me to,
Bitcoin's out of control. What's the story
I
here?
love your way so soft and warm.
Anybody buy Litecoin and ride this astounding wave? What the fuck is Litecoin? Look at this thing. Is this right, Data? Look at this Litecoin chart. I can't even get my brain around it. Anybody understand cryptocurrencies? Any crypto people in the house? Oh man. What's up with Bitcoins? What's the story with these Bitcoins, people? This Litecoin. God damn. This is actually a bigger... What's the spread, though? If I try to change a Litecoin, what's the spread going to be? Does anybody know? Any experts out there in cryptocurrencies? Anybody know? I have no idea.
What you do and won't you? And come on home, I can't hold out. I can't hold out too long. I get a real good feeling talking to you on the phone. He said, baby, you know I love you. You're my heart's desire. You know I love you, baby, but I hate to see you cry. I can't hold out. I can't hold out.
I blew up that robot. Robot got all excited about the market there. Robot took it on the chin there. Oops. Hey, look it. I'm anti-martingaling into the Dow Jones. Can anybody explain why Bitcoin and the Dow Jones is going through the fucking roof? Where's all the fundamentalists tonight? Any fundamentalists out there would care to venture on the fucking insane ass moves? Where's the cryptoholics? Where's the cryptoholic when you need him? Anybody has $6,000 they'd like to drop on the Bitcoin tonight? Just step in there and pull the trigger, man. I think it's in an uptrend, so... Is anybody buying up here? Can somebody explain Bitcoin to me? Is this the end of central banking? Is that what it's supposed to believe? can't get in this trend to say, I'm afraid to buy at these prices. Everybody afraid to step in. Am I the only one who feels a little tentative? Well, you know, WikiLeaks, the guy from WikiLeaks, you know, Andre Assange or whatever have you call it, he was forced to put his money in Bitcoin, and now he's killing it, right? This is the guy that's taken up residence in the Russian embassy, or he lives at the Russian embassy. Don't you love this shit? A political prisoner, right? Didn't he just show it to them? And look at Litecoin's no different. Litecoin's actually a penny stock, which I think actually isn't metrically a bigger gain than, isn't Litecoin a bigger percentage increase than even, let's see here. I gotta get to the large time frame. I mean, explain Litecoin, right? Like, look at this, the penny stock of Bitcoins. Look at this breakout. Now, if you don't think breakout trading works, then you're out of your fucking mind. You got a limit order to, can you put buy stops in your crypto entries like you do in Forex? Can you say, I'd like to buy that if it breaks out? I'll just buy back here. When was this? Why is my chart so You gotta fix the scale just to see what the fuck happened here, dude. What is going on here? This reminds me of, everybody know what a REIT is? A real estate investment trust? This is what, I used to study those charts, and I fix the scale, but MetaTrader won't let me stretch this. Because the math is so hard that even MetaTrader can't get its brain around this movement. Look at it down here at $2. Now, if you got out at 35, this is like the spike in silver. Okay, that's the full data set there. Take the grid off so we get more drama. I know they'll let us take the grid off, and let's show the time frame. So we're at, I don't know, I guess it's the same percentage, just looks more dramatic here. From 2 to 61, isn't that a bigger move than from 1,000 to, if your Bitcoin was at 1,000 at the same time? Maybe no. I don't know. The Fed. No, it's weird because does anybody watch these conspiratorial people? Anybody watch, I guess only 5 people, so this is probably not going to happen, but does anybody watch conspiratorial, does anybody watch conspiratorial theory shit? Is anybody amazed at the stupidity there? Why are people talking about this? Where's the... This looks like 9/11. If you're shorting this, it's your 9/11. We still got these moron. There's a guy named Lionel from Lionel Nation. He's a linguist, and this guy, he somehow ended up algorithmically in my not a suggestion, but like as if I signed up for him. I must have been accidentally I must have tried to click on my porn link and I accidentally hit him. So it's like, yikes. And so now I'm kind of addicted to his moronic blatherings. So, and he's broadcasting like all the time now. So I'm watching Lionel Nation and he's like, they're going to release the JFK documents. I think that's why the Bitcoin's going up, to be honest with you. That and chemtrails, but... Like, I'm just going to have to assume that that conspiratorial theory is clickbait. Let's hope, right? But all of what? You watch everything on YouTube also. I guess being retired or being a lazy physical employee, you know. So speaking of bad execution, bad trading, I saw a physical trade today. I saw a guy trading on the weekend, and I saw him afraid to get out of the trade. So this is a real world trade. My buddy owns a pawn shop, and I watched somebody come in for a very special guitar. This is the Dimebag Darrell. It looks like a flying V gone wrong. And he was in a panic because somebody wanted to buy it. So he's hurry up. He was checking all his charts. He went on to eBay, and he was afraid he might be selling the $3,000 version of it that had Dimebag's sweat on it or something. And it was hilarious because I thought, this is like a guy who's up on this trade. The customer is there. Actually, the market's moving. The market's the customer in the pawn shop. And if he walks out because you can't wait so long, he's tired of waiting. So he's torn between double checking the prices. But this is my whole view of today's trade with him is, why in the fuck didn't he figure that out before like maybe the value changed? But he didn't even know the name of what he had, and I thought, well, see, you don't care about $500 apparently. Now, if that was a $1,000 guitar, he probably would have paid more attention, and he would have already put that in the vault when he got it. But he was thinking maybe that thing is. So as far as execution goes, when he took profits on the trade, which is maybe he paid $100 for the guitar. And this is another thing, is that he's been burned on stuff where he bought a guitar and he sold it, and the guy calls him up later and goes, thanks, dude, that guitar's worth it's some special edition. He just thought it was a piece of shit, right? So he's once bitten, twice shy. Now he is prone to double check everything on exit as he closes the trade, because he's afraid that maybe this time he's going to fuck up that same exit. In other words, get out of the trend too early. In other words, what if this thing's going up in value? So it's just funny to watch that psychology today. And I thought, is he any different than anybody that fucking clicks on a price chart and decides to buy or sell? I also got a comment here from this guy, and he deleted his comment. So, but the funny thing about YouTube is the comments are held in the update bell. Okay, the little bell on the upper right-hand corner. It holds on. So he says to me this more after my broadcast today. He says, here's the thing. I get what ICT is doing. Maybe you know what you are doing. You're trying to explain what it is, apparently. But I'm not getting it. Maybe there's a language barrier between, and then of course it cuts off, and I can't read the end of it. This is by Coollo, Coollo. Coollo commented, and I don't think he's on my Skype thing, and so I'd actually, at some point, it's kind of awkward to talk into space. I didn't think I'd do it live into a room with nobody talking back, people typing back to me. But oh well. I guess it's just, that's how it is. I just bought some very terrible coffee. Be very careful if you buy bad coffee, because you have to make it weak because it's so rough. It's so unsmooth. You got to dial it down into a. So the guy says to me, he says, but let me reread this in my where I wear my heart on my sleeve. I've been told by my parents at the age of 5 that, let me see how I can read this in a worse kind of interpretation, which would be, here's the thing. I get what ICT is doing. Maybe you know what you're doing. you're trying to explain it, apparently. Well, apparently I am, but this is my question, and I'll just be blunt. If you could please explain to me what ICT is doing, because I don't understand that either. I think I understand it from the standpoint of that he's getting into a trade. So I watched one of his videos today, and I only made it, I had to fast forward, so I got to the part where he says, this is the British pound. He's got all these views, and the comments are disabled. So my comments are enabled. I welcome all the thumbs down because I'm a real man, people. I may be ready to die at any moment, but I'm real. And I don't understand this safe space trading. And I suppose if you're going to you're going to teach people how to trade, that's a big responsibility. And I don't want to be that guy because I'm very irresponsible, disorganized, and creative. So I can't fill the shoes of that. But he's a different personality. So, and maybe what he's saying is so blunt, and maybe it's going over my head because it's too simple. It's like oversimplification. But I see him taking trades, and just getting in randomly. In fact, this morning when he's talking about a trade he got into, he said, because he learned from Gerald. He learned from the same guy. I have the videotape of him. He's a floor trader. I thought he's mispronouncing his last name, but he says it in the video there. Is the guy he learned from, who was just a floor trader, and he traded the spooge or something like that, the spiders. I don't want to say anything inappropriate, but the S&P minis or something. And he's still stuck on this psychology of, so what the guy he learned from said, I get into a trade and then I see what happens. Okay, this is a mental game. This is a psychological game you're playing with yourself. You're getting into the trade probably because you're afraid of missing out on something. So you get into, like they call it, a probe trade. So you put a 1K in. And you're like, let me see how I feel about going short here. And then the market starts to move in your favor, and your emotions must be thinking, you must immediately think, the first time it moves your direction, I like this trade. Then when it moves against you, you go, I don't know if I should have got in. I mean, is there some secret I'm missing? So when he says to me, I know what ICT is doing. Yeah, I know what he's doing. He's doing what everybody has to do. He's trading the market, and that's what I'm doing. In other words, how I get in is apparently different than how, and I don't even see him pull the trigger in these videos. You don't see, even if it's a demo account, when it comes to trading, it's just like anything else in the world. It likes to come playing guitar. Now, some people would tune up a guitar and then they play it. And some people play a guitar because they're so excited about playing it. So I watched this guy demo this Dimebag guitar, right? So I plugged the guitar in for him. He says, I know how to play. And it says a Floyd Rose on it, but the whammy bar's in the case, and we didn't know that, so he was freaking out. He goes, there's no whammy bar. I go, dude, really? It's just I don't know if the bridge mechanics work. And I thought, but you're a guy, right? You understand a Floyd Rose floating bridge works unless you hit it with a torch and melt it. It's like, does that seesaw at the park work? Yeah. Unless it squeaks a little. It works. Does the swing set work? Yeah. So, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. I'm talking about the approaches people take. So, he starts playing the guitar. And then he changes, immediately goes into a different setting. He wants to test drive it. But he actually likes the guitar. I mean, the guitar's a piece of shit, honestly. Sounds like shit. Pickups are shit. But, Dimebag Darrell played it. And he actually warmed up for Dimebag Darrell, so. And he told, I said, isn't Dimebag dead? He goes, yeah, one of his fans shot him because he was jealous that Pantera or something, I can't remember the name of the band. And I thought, wow, man, this is like that chick that got shot, that Latino girl that was famous in Florida. I think this is like maybe 15 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't know. And some fan shot her because he was like jealous or something. So that's why I also want to be a famous trader, get killed by Robin Hood. She'll hunt me down. So there's a language barrier. And I guess the language barrier here is that my curiosity in life is, what's the best way to get in the market? Should I wait for the market to come to me? Should I get in and probe the market and say, yeah, I'm in a little bit. I kind of like this trade. In fact, it looks like the market, in other words, as soon as you get in the market, now your mindset's changed. And maybe that's what you do need to make money. So who knows what each person needs to make money? Do you want to play the guitar, play your favorite song, and then tune it up? Or do you want to tune it up and then play your favorite song? Do you want to just look at the guitar and go, I play it for 10 seconds and go, it needs so much work. It needs to have this, and done to it. I kind of figured out. Let's go. Or do you need to sit there for 3 hours, which I did once with a keyboard, and I got so lost I brought my own headphones in the store and played all my favorite presets on the, or I just went through the presets on the synth. Of course, once you exhaust that, you're kind of, you become a keyboard addict, and now you want to buy another keyboard with a bunch of different sounds in it also. But, and then, so I got this other comment here. Now, this is by the infamous Dave Gibson, who writes these lengthy articles. I call them articles for lack of a better term. Here. This multiple instrument thing is, so I did a little video here, and he piped in on this. And he's not the guy from Gibson Guitars either, in case you're wondering. Let's see if I get the article up here. Let me see if anybody's on my, I have 6 people. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't even explain what he's doing is what's killing me, you know. That's the thing. He doesn't explain anything. So Dave Gibson writes in this article here. I say article, man, this guy, now, he's so esoteric, I honestly can't even figure out what he's doing, what he's trying to say. Now, here's a guy that speaks a different language. I'm lost. Somebody would have to help me out with this one. So here he says, what Simpleton is saying in this video, and this is the video where I'm talking about swing trading, and I'm talking about this guy that sent me a chart saying, how can I make more money swing trading? And he wanted to make more money swing trading because he was a swing trader, which is kind of a range trader. And I said, it really depends a lot on stuff, you know. And, of course, you have to talk to somebody in the flesh to really decipher what they're aiming at. So he says, while what Simpleton is saying in this video can be helpful, it is capped by its own limitations. Trading, as most people have come to know it, is speculating, not trading. Trading is about the realization of the shift in priorities and acting on it, nothing more. Right, so what he's saying here is the choice of execution. Now, so Dave Gibson is being like, now what he pissed off some guy because he was being too esoteric. He was being too abstract. And so between concrete and abstract, I guess is what I'm saying is maybe ICT is a little too abstract. He's saying stuff like, well, I thought the British pound was going to go down, so I sold. Okay, that's pure goober thought, right? I mean, that's a very crude thing to say. Well, how much did you sell? Where did you sell? What was your target? Where was your stop, right? How much was the risk of your percentage of your account? How many of those trades do you see yourself adding in the future? So what I would say is, what is your sequence? Do you play the guitar? Now, a lot of people play guitar not plugged in just to hear how it really sounds. Now, this guy did not do that. They say a guitar sounds how it sounds. And the pickups are just microphones. And what he was going to do is change the pickups on it to what Dimebag Darrell used, which is Seymour Duncan's. It's probably very, what I'm saying probably doesn't make sense to anybody who doesn't know about guitars, but and I thought, well, okay, you want to have that template, right? You want that template to be on your guitar rig, just like you want your charts to look a certain way. You want Ranko charts, but quite bigger. But does that really matter? The matter is the approach. So you own an airplane. Do you know how to land it without hitting the runway? Now, this is, like I would say, getting into a trade is like being a pilot in a way. I mean, as far as takeoff go, they say the landing's the hardest part. And of course, getting out of the trade was probably the hardest part, because if you're up on the trade and you're still thinking that you're in a trend, because I just watched a chunk of Curtis Hanley's thing where some guy said, put on the Ed Sequoia trend whipsaw song. I thought this is just enabling. This is for people that are trend traders and they're watching their equity go up and down. They can be whipsawed. And if you catch a trend, right? So if you catch a trend, this is like, well, if you're lucky enough to pick up some hot babe that loves you, and so people say that to people. Wow, you're lucky. You know, your wife's hot and she loves you. It's a pretty rare combo plate. And but I'm thinking in terms like this. When I see a price chart like this, take a look at this Litecoin. So maybe if Coolio's listening, from the standpoint of this order block stuff, and I really just think they're price levels. I mean, I think the order block to me is right here. The smaller the body, the more powerful the order block. And if you think in terms of, well, this is a pivot. And there's a million order blocks on here. So which one is he referencing and why, and where did he come to that conclusion? Now, if I go with structure, this is a top. And if I go with momentum changes, I don't think trading's that complicated. And I think here it's a lower risk entry. So if I say I'm anticipating a break of this downtrend line and the ATR fits, like I figured out that this is the first time the market went sideways. It's the flag, it's the pennant, it's the window of opportunity for anybody to add to a position or go on their first position long. So I don't know if we're speaking the same language there. Now I'm paranoid, so I'm double checking my language. And I'm looking for a unique color on that. The box shouldn't be that color then. But this is the criteria. How tight a stop do you want to run? And also I saw ICT saying, well, you can't get in with a 5-pip stop. Well, I've done that many a time, but I'm not trading one position. So maybe this is the language barriers that I'm putting in multiple tickets and ICT's putting in one. So people say to me, how can you manage all those multiple tickets? Well, he's trading bigger size. Maybe he puts in a 50K here, but I only go in a 39K. But if the market should spike down, I'll lose 3K. Right? I'll lose 3K because I've got a stream of stop. I've got I got an area of stoppage, and I have an area of profitage. My profitage is this, my stoppage. And when I say edge, I mean more than one ticket. And I've actually accumulated. So that's my stops, and those are my take profits streamed out. In a perfect world, you can actually put them on there and drag them into that zone. So if you didn't write the perfect script, I bought everything in between these yellow bars I'm long. So here's my 5-pip stop ticket, because it stops, and how they're connected to that. So maybe this, I don't know if this helps Coolio, but now presupposes, and maybe your targets are like this, and maybe your stops are like this. But you're focused on accumulating on these three bottoms. Every time we get this, so you bought here, you bought here. There's two reasons to buy. I still don't think they're going to let me. Yeah, scale's fixed. I can't stretch it, though. I can't even, I crashed the, I crashed it. To unfix. I can't even resize it. Look at that. No matter what I do. Now here is a top become a bottom. If anybody can see this. So if Coolio is watching, top bottom theory, right? We all know about this. We've heard about tops become bottoms. This top became a bottom on the weekly Litecoin. Would that be a good place to buy? Either at the market if you catch it, catch a trend, catch an entry. How about just catch a good entry? Fuck catching a trend. How about catch a good scalp entry? Right? So I don't know. Everybody's out partying. Look at this. Go figure. I don't care. All my friends. I mean, people go out to these bars. I just can't do it. I was at a bar recently with my ex-wife, and it's so fucking loud in there. I couldn't even complain about it. Now, when you go to the 4-hour chart, this is the problem I also have with, look at all the trades on the 4-hour chart. I mean, look at the daily chart compared to the weekly chart. Here's the weekly chart, and if I go to the daily chart, it looks like a train wreck. Look at this, and look at here. If you had a pending, look how they just sheared through that. Here's another thing ICT doesn't say. You need to start putting buy limits in here. More than one, right? Why doesn't he just tell people that? How hard is that to think about? I just don't get it. I'm missing something. Coolio needs to explain this to me. Please explain, what is he doing? And that's my question. I'm curious to what is he doing? Now, if you imagine you buy the top of that rectangle on a limit and your stop's here, that's a good entry. Now, if you have an order here, an order here, an order here, an order there, order there. Now, with using the same metric, this is your risk. And see, your first order stopped out. You buy new lows right on close with that wick. And then as you scooch this down, you can see the first 3 tickets in your stack is knocked out. And that's without even talking about what is the ratio on win for that. Now, the next script you drop is this script. It runs a stop like this. So it buys here, no stop out. It buys here, no stop out. Buys here, no stop out. But its take profits are up here. Right. So in your ratios, because you're going to have some that are. So you say you buy, and you're really honed in on the fact that you know this exists. This is no secret to anybody that there's a stop here, right? Somebody has a stop here, or there's somebody that wants to trade that breakout going the other way. And of course, I can't resize this, so I can't even stretch that to show you. It went by like a. Here we go. I can stretch it on the daily. So here, this is on all markets are the same too. There's no difference between Litecoin and Forex. All markets are the same, aren't they? Here's a stop hunt to this wick tip here. If you had a buy limit here and a stop here, and your profits are at the top of this now here's where you decide: do I get out of that trade? Like, you think it's going to take out the high of the year? So now you're kind of like, you missed your exit here, right? This is the customer comes in wants to buy that guitar off you finally, buy that Bitcoin off you. And now you're like, maybe it's going to go higher. You know, look how much it's gone up in value in, just like a few days here. So you got Bitcoin fills at 33, and you didn't cash out here. And maybe you bought more at the pullback to here. When it came back into this. And maybe you added. And maybe you're really hog long, and maybe you added here because you have a top bottom right now, right? There's a top becoming a bottom right now. If you think this is the double top here, if this is a double top, and you did that trade too, you scalped there, another instance of, I mean, I don't see why ICT isn't just telling people point fucking blank that you want to have your buy limit here where the stop hunt is. Like I said, the first time I criticized him, I said, I don't get what this guy's doing. Why doesn't he tell people, look at, here's the stop hunt window. We need to sell up there, but not one ticket. And where's our first exit's going to be? At the previous known top. What is the previous known top? Well, it's right here. Either these wick tips or the closing price here. That is your top. If you sold this stop hunt, your first exit here, and same and going the other way. You need to start buying, whether you win, lose, or draw. And this, I think people just can't believe it, that you need to buy the stop hunt. Where are the stops for the bulls? They start right here on this swing low. That's a swing low, right? According to Keel Stokes, that is a swing low. Here's your buy limits. Now, granted, your scalp buy limits, you're going to get fucked out of those. But hopefully you didn't put 40 standard lots on a scalp and make a scalp that has a stop down here where you know there's probably stops down here. And this wick, this is right. What if you bought here with a stop here looking to make, now as they say, wait for it, because now I'm going to scrunch this down to show you. Here's another thing that pisses me off about ICT. Why doesn't he fix the fucking scale so he can drill down on these fucking entries and see there are 5 pip entries, you dumb fuck? Here, another instance of the stop hunt entry. How is this a mystery? Here's where you buy. Well, you would have just, yeah, no shit, dumb fuck. You'd have to run wider. That's a daily chart. You bought the low stop hunt of the month there. And why doesn't ICT say, dude, and this ICT doesn't believe in breakout trading, right? Because you got burned once. I know you can kind of tell if somebody's not trading that style, they got burned once. Or they don't have their brain ain't big enough to hold 2 strategies at once. But can anybody tell me that this isn't the lowest ATR, most adorable fucking spinning top you've ever seen in your fucking life? And all you had to do is put a buy stop and a sell stop below that, and kaboomy woomy, look at all the money you made. And you knew your exit was, as soon as they fill this vapor lock, get out or start selling. But you can't just trade one ticket. Here, maybe just 5 tickets triggered, and you scaled out. And even though you sold one here and started the whole formula over again, sold 1 ticket here, then sell 8 more above you. So Coolio, what I'm doing is I'm scaling in and out. It's not magic. And where's the trade block? The trade block, the liquidity starts here. Going back the other way, wick, 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 wick. All these wicks are where your sell limits are pending. Now, this sounds really stupid, but this is how the market works. So ICT is going to sit there and blather around and show you. The thing that pisses me off about him is he says, I'm going to show you what nobody else is talking about. Well, I'm talking about it. And a lot of other people apparently are. What he's missing is a trade plan. Order definition. Entry definition. Did you get in a market stop or limit? How tight was your stop? How many tickets? How often do you trade? Do you execute willy-nilly and manage a trade? And you can still make money doing that, right? You can still get a shitty entry and make money. People do it all the time because they don't get in too big on that first shitty entry, and they know they don't bet the ranch on that. How to blow up an account guaranteed. So I don't think I talked about this today, but I was thinking about it. I think was how to guarantee blow up an account. Trade one direction. Oh, this is based on hedge theory. Trade one direction and go as big, put in as many tickets as the broker allows till you run out of free margin and the market moves a little bit and you just blow up the account. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, right? So, what if you put on really a lot of size at the market, both directions? At the market, both directions, no stops, and wait for the market to move. Now, ICT should do that. There's another psychological brain teaser. Get in the market in a complete balanced hedge at the market, and you're down the spread. And a lot of brokers won't charge you any margin, so you're basically sitting there. Now the swap's going to maybe hit you. I'm not sure that works both ways too. But now, if the market moves, this is grid trading in a way too. True grid trading, I suppose. The market moves 100 pips in your direction. You take off a leg, and now the market has to reverse. If it goes in a trend mode, you're going to get killed. As soon as you take off a leg, you've decided a direction. So if you put on a half, so right there, see? So size matters. Even if you got out, it's just, I don't know, it's a brain teaser. So I guess it's just you and me and Malcolm in the middle. Malcolm 100. Yeah, I didn't think anybody got on here tonight. So, but this Dave Gibson goes on to say, so he's talking about that if a trading is about realization, the shift in priorities and acting on it. Yeah, because if it's important to you to trade, you would find a way to scale into a trade where you built a position very smallly instead of bigly. And even during this Litecoin, you'd still have to scalp around that position because you could not accumulate, maybe you could, spend a month accumulating this Litecoin for this eventual move up to here, right? Now, presupposing that you're also going to not, it took you so long to build a position that you're probably going to hang out for a while in your perceived uptrend of this thing on the weekly. And then, of course, this is the view of the weekly. And so you see all the trade blocks in there. But I just don't get it. I'm still waiting for the punchline of ICT. That's the thing. It's like he's hinting at all this stuff. It's just so funny. I'm like, well, okay, but why can't you just say, well, what you got to do here, say, is you got to get in like this. I mean, I prefer like the red. Where's the guy that a country trader? So Dave Gibson says, let's see. But if a person is looking at a chart offering and provided by a broker, then how could you ever hope to have this realization with good timing? I don't know what that means. Because I don't know what, he'd have to explain that to me. I don't know what he's talking about there. Because you're really talking and just, everybody that looks at the chart sees something different. So the fact that the broker provided the chart, what do you think these are fake charts or something? I don't get that. Yeah, that you're trading on your broker's platform. I mean, how could you ever hope to have this realization with good timing? I don't know what he means about that. Of course, pending orders don't involve timing. See, now, if you trade pending orders, you don't need timing. And but you can time the market because momentum starts to die out, and as the triangle forms, you're really waiting for time for your entries. So good timing, I guess, is waiting for a pullback too. Well, time just means timing. I don't understand. You can't. Why? It's based on an assumption that is flawed by the presentation it uses. Now, that's just completely a nonsense statement. So the problem with Dave Gibson's statement is so esoteric. It's chasing its own tail. Get a job. This is my job. My job is to complain. I have a job trading. I'm trading Bitcoin on the weekends. So Curtis, what happened to your were you overwhelmed by the amount of people chatting in the room and asking ridiculous questions? Did the I know when I did my first live stream, I had to delete it because I got so excited. I said a bunch of really bad stuff. I mean, I said really out there, more out there than normal. So, and then I was thinking, well, who am I talking to? And then a couple of people talked to me, but actually, I want to have a discussion with these traders that are trading, and I'm just too curious of how these people get in the market and how they make decisions. And the guy here, Dave Gibson, who's writing this letter to me, this article he created, it's so funny because he'd have to break this down for me. This is like reading poetry. Can you explain that to me? He says, why? He says, why you can't? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I figured, well, life gets in the way of trading, huh? Trading gets in the way of life. You're lucky you don't have to scalp for a living. You can just take chunks out of the market because otherwise, of course, I guess you could scalp. I'm building a trading platform on my tablet. And so I'm trying to get that so I can just pretty much casually trade off my tablet instead of sitting in front of these monitors feeling like I need to, like there's something different. Of course, the tablet uniquely, or my old cell phone, gave me a completely different view of the market because it was vertical. Like I could set that to be hold vertical, actually. The tablet problem is that it keeps on flipping from vertical to horizontal. Of course, as soon as it goes vertical, I have a different view of prices, and I would execute trades on my phone based on at-a-glance trading, like you say, price action. So, yeah, the indicator stuff. I know how to use RSI, but anything other than RSI, I don't understand where it gets the math from. But indicators is definitely the most, it's a whole other world because you have to understand what the indicator is thinking, or in other words, it'd be like if you were, if you ever play guitar with a delay unit, you have to know the delay of the unit to play a beat that matches, or maybe it's off, but it has to be syncopated in such a way that it's not clashing. So the problem with the indicators, they clash with price action because of the lag in there. It's like if you play on stage in an auditorium, and if you can't handle psychologically the echo off the walls, you can't play the song that you wrote, because that's why they have floor monitors on stage, because they need to. Of course, the floor monitors in trading is going to be the price. Always the price. I also don't like these tick bar charts that smooth out time, because you destroy time with these tick bars. But anyways, this guy David Gibson, of course, when I think traders are a different breed. Maybe I meet musicians, and maybe I'm not having the musicians that I talk to, I guess they have a different approach to playing their instrument too. So a lot of people can't read music, and some people can. Just like I think reading music is like if you're a trader and you understand economics. But just because you can read music doesn't mean you're a really good guitarist or creative. So trading, I always try to take a metaphor, an analogy from trading to other topics, because say you're good at something in your day job, and you can transfer those skills to trading, not in the way that most people. So I was watching your last video, Curtis, the one with the guy with the gold-plated car, the entrepreneur. And I like that. When a guy says he's an entrepreneur, it's like the guy that comes up with business cards and he has no product. So I met a guy today at the pawn shop that was running for mayor. Now, I'm not making this up. It's a true story. And I hope I kept his he had a card that felt like a sticker, but I go, is this a bumper sticker? And he goes, no, that's my card. And it was a big, like a satin finish plastic card that was like 3 inches by 3 inches. And he was trying to buy a megaphone for the top of his car because he's going to drive around town and announce that he's running for mayor. Now, mind you, the election's coming up in less than a month, and I don't think anybody knows who this guy is. So I thought he's just out of his mind. So I decided to talk to him. That was fun. And he's serious. He's serious as a heart attack. But, you know, that guy was trading binary options. I think he said he's making money from the from the trades. Binary options. You can do it if you're really quick on the draw and you trust that your broker's not. How do you know what the spread? This is my question. If you're trading binary options, how can you see the spread on that? How do you know that the broker's not running a 40 pip spread behind the scenes on that binary option instrument? I guess you don't. You don't know that, right? But so going back to Dave Gibson's article, he says there's a difference between relying. Now here he might make sense here. There's a difference between using and relying on indicators or bars or candlesticks, etc., to offer a better view, or to get further insight versus changing the dynamics of what you're investing your time and money in, sometimes entirely. You see that the chart from your broker is based on a representation of the world actions, not yours. Well, of course, I think, right? Let's hope we understand that what we're doing isn't changing the market. So every time you look at it, you battle against everyone out there, in quotes, instead of reaching your goals. Well, you do feel like this is what they make you believe of all these trading seminars, that you're trading against the best traders in the world. No, you're really just trading against your own view of reality. So that's true, you know. So there are ways to change the dynamics of and recreate the entire market you are trying to trade, as well as track it, map it, and pinpoint what you are doing and doing poorly along your journey. All the rubbish people talk about trading is complete BS. I talk from having years of experience being on this planet. It's all there to keep people happy and preoccupied, to feel they are succeeding, to learn how to trade anything market, to trade any market. You need to do everything that is completely the opposite to people's small-minded thinking. So I think the contrarian, this is where I agree. Contrarian view of the market is certainly where the money is. If you think about entries like this in any market, this is Litecoin, but I go to Bitcoin, same story, different chart. So look at Bitcoin trading at $6,000 on the. Does Curtis? Do you have any fundamental view of how Bitcoin got to $6,000? Not that I trade it, but and look, my robot placed a buy order here. My robot's making money, I'll have you know. This is the this might be my BitBot. The comments will tell me. Oh no, this is the fast medium cross. Some robot just put on a trade. He went into a huge position, which is amazing. He even made up the spread on this broker, to be honest with you. He decided to go long, and look, he's winning. So there you go. It doesn't matter. Now, I could intervene right now and get out of that trade. He put the trade on. This another thing is that these robots could put on a trade for you, and you look and you're up, and if you're good at money management, you just close this out. This is not $33,000. This is a Bitcoin account with Bitcoins in it. It's just a demo account, but it's Bitcoin that's actually trading right now, real time. And in fact, it just keeps, if it takes out, it's going just like the stock market, which I don't understand the fundamental view. But I think the demand is, and this is my view of Bitcoin, why it's going up, is because it's the underground economy coming above ground. Anybody with half a brain and $500,000 is either in Bitcoin or their money managers are in Bitcoin because they can see the writing on the wall or they can see, like the gold market is done moving because the gold market is not liquid. Bitcoin is the most liquid currency on the planet because I can take a Bitcoin and I can send it to somebody in a few seconds or a few minutes. And it's truly, and it trades on the weekend. So this is another thing that's fascinating, is it's a 24/7 market. Forex and stocks and all that stuff is, to me, is prehistoric. It's old school. It's like walking around with a wire recorder instead of a tape machine even. Yeah, I think people are chasing it for sure. It reminds me of the gold climax. And if you look at this price pulse theory applied to Bitcoin, we have a perfect price pulse. And in fact, we've actually eclipsed, in a charting sense, we've eclipsed the perfect price pulse here. We're dead on target, though. You don't. In fact, this is wave 3. If there was ever a wave 3, in the price pulse is if you connect these lows, and this is what I learned from my RSI teacher, is you take these two lows on close. And the thing about RSI, the reason why that's the only thing I use and why RSI matters is because it's closing prices only. And here's the rule. This is higher than here. I hate to sound like one of these, you see it went up, see it went down. How do you project price off of these two is find the highest close. The rule is, what is the highest close between those two lines? Connect this to close, and look at, you've not only hit that, but you've gone you hit it early here in the final price. If you turn on the price shift so you can see into the future a little bit, is so right here, you're still on target. Well, you're actually overshooting the runway there. So it's going parabolic even for the people that do that projection. The shallower version of that is find the other price pulse back here on close and connect this to the highest in between those two. So you blew through it there. You came back. And once this thing starts to really get steep, now you also could have a price pulse here, which is pretty shallow. This is the weekly. So you really, this pullback here. And you find the highest close in there, which is here. Right? So you're hitting that target there. Then you have this long-legged target. This is what my RSI guy I spent $2,000 with taught me. So we're hitting that price pulse within that smaller wave, the wave within the wave, the fractal. And then we have this. And this guy hit his target. This guy hits it, but it's ridiculous now. See, now I'm underwater. See, now I could have got out of that. Could have got out of that winner. And this is the thing. Does it really matter, like, where I get in? Yeah. Explain everything. Yeah, that's right. Well, there is a need to explain because I think, even if you have to say that the reason it's raining out is because the rain fairies made it rain, and people could hold on to that mentally, I think. People need to it hurts the brain too much, and this is why I used to have anxiety attacks thinking about infinity when I was a kid. Somebody said, well, it never ends. I thought, well, wait a minute. You know, there's got to be an end to infinity. And so you kind of say, well, the universe is, what's the farthest thing away? But actually what's more anxiousness, the other anxious side of that coin is if you go to the subatomic level, how far down can you go? And that might be infinity too. I'm not sure. So there's double anxiety. But really, what is, you know, I think it's just people want to feel safe. And actually, after the market moves, they say, please explain it to me. So the market makes a move, and then the news comes out to try to say, oh, that's why it did it. But really, I think it's just order imbalance. In other words, as you go into uncharted water here in Bitcoin, you are really going where gold went when it went through 1,000, went through 1,200, when it went through 1,300, to the same parabolic mess. And it's certainly, if Bitcoin gets up into, I can't even stretch a chart because MT4 won't let me even look at, if I fix the scale here on the weekly, I can't even get up there into that price area. I think I have to go to daily and stretch because the math in MetaTrader is not designed for Bitcoin apparently. But imagine that we made it up to 8,000. Okay, so here's like 8,000. Anybody want to exit their longs at 8,000? Any sellers coming in? Bitcoin at 8,000? I wonder, is that even possible? Yeah, so, but it's going sideways on the smaller time frame. So, yeah. Oh, okay, right. So it's going, yeah, when does the tide change? You familiar with, Curtis, you familiar with James Sloman? So I'm out in, it's like 1992, and I go out to this, it was called TAC, I think. Technical Analysis Conference. It's like a 3-day symposium. And somebody had a book there called Nothing. There's a book called Nothing by James Sloman. And he reminds me of Dave Gibson. And of course, James Sloman only has 2 videos, I think, on YouTube, and he's just like, you know, but he talks about, he has this elaborate cloud trading system, and he talks about there's a wave, there's a tide, and then there's the current. So there's like these 3 aspects of a move, like the tidal wave kind of idea that there's a big wave, and you're looking for places to jump on those smaller waves. But the James Sloman guy, the Nothing book is just, wow. It's about mind shift and stuff, and kind of like a little bit of that, I don't really believe in the, oh gosh, this, what was that, What the Bleep movie? That's just hogwash. But I get that people, makes them feel better, but I think it's just ridiculous. But I don't know if anybody's into esoteric stuff. So you're not trading Bitcoin tonight, Curtis? Just for fun? Just for the thrill of it? Yeah, I got $6,000. I just still can't believe Bitcoin. I mean, I guess, why not 7,000? You would have never convinced me that we're going to make it to, I thought maybe 5,500. And look how the thing actually, look how the target is like where it bends a little bit. But closing prices to me, now the daily projections, see, as soon as you go here now, you're 5x away. You're 5x away, and my closing prices kind of hold up. This looks like a big choppy mess here, but see, there's all sorts of counter trend trades in here with that same structure, closing price entry stuff. Like, you probably hard to. They're not going to let me stretch that out, but it's pretty shallow. But if you connect these two, here's the game. You connect these two mountains, find the lowest valley in there, and that's your price target, but we actually don't get there in time. But it's just giving you that kind of one price pulse entry. I guess it gives you a better price target than a time target. There's your price target. I suppose you hit that up here. Eventually, you hit that price target. I think you hit it on the wicks, probably. No. See, there you go. So this is volatility, and this is price. So there's volatility, here's price, and geez, I need to refix the scale here. I used to do this all the time. You have to fix it like that, and then you've got to come back in, refix. And now it might let me stretch it. Okay. So you have to go back to unfix to load more data in the data set. Then you can manipulate it like this. So you can see the micro pulses like this. So if you connect these two guys, and then your projection is here. So here's your like parallelogram thing. So here you do hit it nearly on time, and you just walk those up. Now here's a very steep projection, probably on, let's see another price pulse. So if you can only just trade that one price pulse, you're loving it. Of course, here's the long-legged version of that. Is that one. Then if you extend to here, you're looking for the highest close within that. Still that. And here the highest close between these pulses is here. And it's actually at the end of that phase. So see, and the reason why this pattern works, and this is what I guarantee you, RSI is more oversold here than it is here. Because this pullback's so hard. That's on a 3-period RSI. You could also hang it off of this price pulse. You hit this target. Here's the most shallow signal out of all of these is this one. So all of those, and then you have, this is the longest legged, and this is the highest close within that. So it's like, some people call it a measured move. Here it is over here again. Of course, here you fail to make targets in time. You make them in price nearly. Highest close in there. But see how hard the pullback is. It's the last pullback. It's usually, this is wave 3, and this is wave 5 maybe. I don't know if you're Elliott waving it. Yeah. What's Cody? What's Kodai? Is that like live at Budokan? Mommy's all right, daddy's all right. What's Cody? Kodai. Is that a game? Is that like Dungeons and Dragons? Okay. I guess she already left. I don't know when. There's no timestamp on people's comments. Yeah. Yeah, so anybody does any measured move analysis out there? Me is the only one. I have to turn off the forwarding of data here to fighting the auto scroll. Anyways, there's a million of now here when the market's shallow, there really is no opportunity for that analysis. Like here we go. Here's a shallow price pulse. Just a projection, target projection. But yeah. So yeah, my bit bot. See, he's underwater now. I should have got out when he was a genius. Anyways, I'm running a bunch of robots here, and none of them seem to be biting on any data. I could force them to trade by changing the time frames. Anyways, I hope that... So here, going back to this Dave Gibson. This is quite an article he wrote, so... And I haven't talked to him in person, but he can type. I mean, he spent some... Either he can type fast or he spent time typing on here. So, and of course he was there when everybody was just freaking out, like I was being attacked by people. Then people attacked him for being too abstract in his comments. So... There is, it's all here to keep people preoccupied, to feel like they're succeeding, how to learn to trade any market. You do need to have a completely different opposite view, opposite to people's small-minded thinking. Not just be contrarian or iconoclastic or rebellious. Well, that's me. Example, if there is a huge buzz for using, if there's a huge buzz for using trading robots, then just shake your head and walk away. If there's a buzz about what time frame do you use, then shake your head and just walk away. Now, I think that question comes up because it does matter what time frame you're using, because it matters how often you can get to your chart to pull the trigger, and actually where you find support and resistance on smaller time frames. And if you're trying to just make 5 pips, then it does matter what time frame you're on. So I don't understand why you'd walk away and shake your head. I'd have to understand. I'd have to see what he means. And I do think robots, not just one robot, but a team of robots can make money from the market. You have self-driving cars. Why not, right? So you really have to... I'm not saying it'd be easy, and you may find it easier to just trade manually. But you could get a team of robots going. I'm going to do it on I got a little mini computer. I'm going to run this probably on as many currency pairs. I'm going to run, and I'm actually going to pick the right size stops for the right instrument. So I'm actually going to pick the robot based on the current volatility of that market. When I see the volatility is low, I would run the low volatility bots. And when I see the market volatility get high, I'm going to turn on, well, I'll probably turn both on, but I know that I want to just see how the high volatility robots respond. And if they're all trading in concert, and maybe have 10 robots on one currency pair, I'm curious to see what happens. So he says, shake your head and walk away. Different time frames are there for working out when dinner is. Different time frames are there for working out when dinner is. Now, I think this is a joke he's making, and I don't know. This is pretty funny stuff here. So using the charts to figure out that on the 5-minute chart you would have like a ham sandwich, or you just, okay, so you know what time frame, when to sleep. So basically he's saying time frame analysis is when to have dinner, when to sleep, and when to take the children to school. So he's making a joke. It has nothing to do with trading. It was introduced so people could still live their lives, He's making jokes. And swing trading, geez. It's all a mind game. It's a closed system, and so it's about changing the active dynamics that you invest your time and money into. Now, these active dynamics, I'd like to hear more about this, and money. You must choose crumbs or you must choose crumbs or your fill. Why is generating $10,000 per week any different than generating $1? It's not. Ever. But if you have small thoughts and ideas and understanding, then you circle the table on your knees hoping to find crumbs. Man, that's quite a picture. I had no idea. Well, it depends what time frame you're on, because the crumbs come out in the Asian session, so you really have to, you don't have to have $1 million trading account to operate, just like you don't have that account in real life. You are learning it all backwards. Anyways, reacting to the markets instead of learning the basic mechanics and then recreating the euro dollar in a different language. So yeah, I think that so he's saying that reacting to the market instead of responding to the market, I think you should respond to the market, or you already have your orders in there and you actually kind of figured out what was going to happen anyways. Like when the volatility is low, you know it's going to get a high, and when it's high, you know it's going to get low. So one that is more similar to your desired outcomes and goals. If you want or need to generate $1,000 a day, do you work harder or smarter? Do you know you don't have to work harder? You still have to put in, actually, to protect yourself from risking. Now, to make $1,000 a day, to reduce the risk and do that, you'd have to work harder to, I think, scale your tickets to actually accommodate that risk. These are pertinent things to consider. So the real answer to the real key question here is the financial markets are a test to see if a person can learn or just be another golem. To be sure, real trading is a real business and has real rules. And it also means that one who understands this and knows that one can feather your goals better than you can. But no one can feather than you can. If you need an example of what I mean by what I say, look above at USD index and track the relationships. Take another look at the demo account that most brokers offer in relation to their live accounts, and take a look at your money management. I don't know how that's any different. Take a look at your money management. The next phase, the next phase style of trading. Rather than the superficial rubbish people speak about money management, hint, look closely at your trading account, equity curve, FX book, whatever. Trading is a business of money, not dick wagging. If a person allows the market to create all the necessary circumstances to them, then they are merely speculating blindly, hoping to round panning for gold, like panning for gold in the river, and living hand to mouth. Hope this wasn't too harsh for everyone. I'm sure that some people will have a problem with it, with what I say, but I hope to be helpful for people to begin realizing that the act of retail trading, as it is, most people are doing, is financial suicide. Well, I don't know what that means. And of course, the term retail to me is a loaded word, which means that you're a loser. But I don't know what he's talking about, because when people say the broker this, the broker that, I say to them, how did you buy your house? Did you buy your house from the Federal Reserve Bank, or did you buy your house through a broker? So you bought your house through a broker, you know. You had some girl with too much makeup on sell you your house, you know. I remember these real estate girls, and I'll tell you what, man, no wonder they're getting in trouble, you know. It's like the hot school teacher that ends up banging one of the students, you know. But yeah, I guess I really got underwater now. I should have taken my money while I had it. That Bitcoin bot was a genius. I think maybe Bitcoin's topping out. What do you think? Anybody buying Bitcoin tonight? On to less depressing subjects. Okay, I guess not. Everybody's out at the bar, getting a souvenir. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's life in the fast lane, as they say, right? Life in the fast lane. Guaranteed to.
This is one of those songs where if you recognize it, feel free to help me out a little bit. A chain, chain, chain. A chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of food. That's right. Oh, for 5 long years, I thought you were my man. Oh, but I'm just a link in your chain. Oh, oh, yeah. You got me where you want me. I ain't nothing but your fool. Oh, no. You treated me mean. You're so mean. You're so mean. Yeah. You treated me cruel. Oh, yeah. Chain, chain, chain. A chain, chain, chain. Chain, 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 chain of fools. Now every chain has got a wrinkle in it. Ooh, yeah, I might be a weak child, oh, but I'll give you strength. Oh, yeah. Let's break it down, boys. You tell me to leave you alone. Yeah, my father said, yeah, come on home. Ooh, the doctor said, yeah, take it easy. Oh, but your loving is much too strong. I'm headed to your chain, chain, chain. Hey. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. of our friend, Mr. Westlandic, over here on the keys. Joe popping over here on the guitar. Oh, chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Oh, nothing's a minute. The chain is gonna break. Gonna be so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna take a lock and take. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Mr. Chris Brown on the bass over here.
What do you mean, your broker got robbed? Explain your broker got robbed. Your broker, you mean like a MT4 broker that did Bitcoin, or you mean a guy that sells you Bitcoins got robbed? Get a hold of yourself. What do you mean? Is it Bitcoin? I don't think I'm buying Bitcoins. I mean, I might use them for transfers, but get a hold of yourself. Both times, so you tried to buy it, or you actually pulled the trigger and you lost your real U.S. dollars in a Bitcoin broker? Are you a member of the Whale Club? Do you know about the Whale Club? Or no? Is that like the Fight Club? First rules, you don't talk about the Whale Club? Really? The guys that work there? Because they know everybody's blockchain codes? In other words, you think that you're yeah, that's I don't know. Yeah, they got robbed, huh? At gunpoint or at like digital gunpoint? They use digital guns. Is that like Farmville, where you have like fake snow? You have like fake guns, and they robbed them. The little avatars. They were robbed by avatars dressed up in ninja outfits. Can you imagine? Like, as they hack your Bitcoin account, they send you, remember those viruses that used to have like a little, little face would pop up. Part of the batch file, it would have some goofy picture like, look, we just hacked your system. Look at you. You loser.
This is one of those songs where if you recognize it, feel free to help me out a little bit. Oh yeah, oh,
Oh yeah, that mint got, that was a long time ago. It's a long time ago that Mount Gaunt was, that was like years ago, wasn't it?
I thought I saw you just the other day. The sight of you just blew me away. You must be staying at your mama's house. What's it been, 10 years or so, when you picked up and left to go with that boy you didn't know too well?
Really? Wow.
You know these small towns talk, if what they're saying is true. You got a hole in your heart that the wind keeps blowing on through. It's boys like him.
What was Bitcoin? What was Bitcoin trading at back then? Like $20 a Bitcoin when they blew up the Mt. Gox. That was the early phase. So you couldn't have lost too much money unless people were really heavily in with real money, right? People got in big with that. If you got in big on your Bitcoin, right, you got killed. Just in dollars, right? Because then you're down like big real big money, right? $100 was a lot of money back then. $100 was $100, people. You got hooked. You say, oh God, 320. Gosh. So the guy that lost his life savings at 320 is kicking himself at 6,000 here. But the leverage is not that much on Coinbase. You know Coinbase is the feds are coming after Coinbase. You know that? Did you hear about the IRS? I guess three customers at Coinbase flagged them because they had offshore Bitcoins. Did you see the guy that was interviewed who is going to jail for Bitcoins? Did you see an interview with that guy? He's going away for, 2 years in federal prison. He's illegally selling Bitcoins. He claimed his Bitcoin business was something else, and I don't know. See, the problem with the law is, if you look up YouTube, a lawsuit. I just saw the accountant and the attorney talk about this. Was a month ago. So Coinbase is going to refuse. Coinbase hired attorneys, and they're going to refuse to let the government look at all their customers' books. And it's hard to buy. In fact, I think they're refusing. I don't know if Coinbase is saying that they're going to refuse new customers anyways, but do you know who you know the guy out of Canada who's a big he lives in Mexico? I can't remember his name. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. There's a guy from Canada, and he's the guy that he's on YouTube. He is what the fuck's his name? Something about Dollar Vigilante. You know who Dollar Vigilante is? On YouTube. I guess I spend too much time on YouTube. I'm just going to come to that conclusion. And maybe I'm not watching. I'm not watching anything about gaming because I'm not a gamer. So I spend all my gaming time I devoted to financial scanning. Dollar Vigilante. Dollar Vigilante is this guy out of Canada who set up, I think, a real successful business, and then he, he talked about Bitcoin before this explosion and everything, and it's a real fascinating thing because a lot of people are thinking maybe it's like the tulip. Have you heard about the tulip craze where people were overbidding tulips? It's a famous price bubble. And, of course, people didn't really, I guess, realize how far they overbid it. But I guess they took that right off the cliff. They overbid the shit out of that thing. And people left holding the bag there. But I don't know, the tulip craze. Is that like 1800s? Does anybody remember? All four people here. 3 people have fallen asleep. Oh, my guy's typing. Tulips. Yeah, the tulip, what would you call it? Panic? Certainly panicked when you overpaid for your tulips. But yeah, Bitcoin. I'm going long Bitcoin, dude. I just put everything I have into this. Tulip mania. Pretty fascinating story. Were they going for 1,000? You know, this is interesting because is it because people love flowers? I heard the gay people started this craze because they love flowers. Dutch Golden Age. Okay, 1600s, so. European wide chain debasement of the metal content of coins. It has to do with coins, so people switch to, they're saying $3,000 and $4,200, or 4,200 gillers, whatever that is, depending on size. A skilled crafts worker at the time only earned about 30. So people were making 30, 300 whatever's a year, but you're making, one bulb costs you 10 years of work, it looks like. 10 years of work for a bulb. So if you make $100,000 a year, you're paying $1 million. $1 million to $1.1 for a bulb. Yes, Extraordinary Probability Delusions and Madness of Crowds by British journalist Charles McCain. I have that book around here somewhere. I found that to be very much like reading Dave Gibson's article. Very, very fuzzy logic. I couldn't really get my brain around that. Certainly fascinating, though. And the speculators, as brainless monkeys in contemporary upper-class dress, commentary on the economic folly. One monkey urinates on the previously valuable plants. The others appear in a debtor's court when carried to the great. Now they have debtor's court. They don't have debtor's prison anymore. I guess the people sit in prison. Get the wrong side of that trade, you go to prison back then, Golden Age. Interesting. We should bring tulips back. Anybody stamp collector out there? Boy. And I guess there's more than one kind of tulip, apparently. Tulip growth. Maybe this is why they were beat up. They were bit up because seeds from the tulip will form a flowering bulb after 7 to 12 years. So I think that might have made the price of tulips high because there's like a maturation point, like it's a maturing bond. It starts to yeah, when the bulb grows into a flower, the original bulb will disappear, but its clone bulb remains in place due to several buds. These buds will become bulbs of their own. Oh, it's almost like fractal geometry there. They can breed another. Ooh, boy, look at the price chart on this puppy. Boy, that's not good. Here's the tulip bulb chart. What do you think of this? Can anybody see the place that we want to get short in the tulip bulbs here? Anybody have a handle on this chart? I think here, and this looks like a very, looks like the last year, it looks like Bitcoins. You think Bitcoins can come back to zero like tulips? I wonder. Are we headed for that? Maybe we're at December 12th on the chart of Bitcoin right now. Let's overlay. This is wave 3. Wave 5 very extended. And in a few short days here, we have a gap open here. We have some, what's this, the mystery gap? Mary Jane. So you think they're going to bid weed through the ceiling now? Oh, so the tulip bulbs, you mean the tulip bulbs are really hemp and people are actually smoking these tulip bulbs? Maybe people are gnawing on them like coca leaves. Instead of actually making cocaine, they just gnawed on them. Like the guys that harvest cocaine, they just chew on the leaves and they're just stoned all day. without any cut. There's no cut in that coke. Just send me some coca leaves so I can stay up and scalp. What do you think about, were you able to get, I wonder if in 1636 you were able to get a broker to let you short this on margin. Of course, if think about the guy that shorted the tulip, I don't know if you could short the market, but think about the guy that did. His neighbors want to kill him now. He's rich, but he's on a hit list. It looks like to me from this chart that on May 1st we're just slightly above November 12th high by just a little bit. Like I think you're still up on this trade actually. Now they did put a price gap. They put a gap here to denote, but they kind of cheated because they made this look very dramatic. January, February, March, April, May. Boy, here was a good time to be long from November. But as you come into, in January, of course, maybe people reassess were there taxes? Was there an income tax in 1636? Does anybody know? Man, that's a brutal chart, ain't it? That tells you something. The Dow Jones looks like the tulip craze, doesn't it? Look at this fucking Dow Jones. What the hell's going on here, people? Something's wrong, man. Look, what's going to happen? Doesn't anybody want to take profits and go get a beer with this fucking Dow Jones and the fucking Bitcoin? What is going on here, man? Look at this Bitcoin. Are you kidding me? I'm seeing divergence in RSI. This is a 3-period RSI. Does anybody see the divergence I see? Anybody trade momentum? Of course, here's our first divergence. And this we're actually right up against divergence here on the 3-period RSI. Here's your buy signal in RSI. More oversold, higher price. We've got 3 oversolds, higher price, and a connection here. Perfect index of price pullback. I don't know. Look at that. Beautiful. Here's my transverse index, the Kronecker foliation. Looking for that pullback at a higher price. So here's your same beautiful index of price. Closing prices only. Look at this double top. Here's your pivot. Here's your Andrews pitchfork on RSI. All the way back to this. So, but I tell you, you got to wonder how long this train's going to go. Somebody's going to start somehow cashing out, right? We could pull back to here. Buyers should come at the previous top. But this thing's ridiculous, huh? I'm getting hammered. I was up a little bit. I'm in super big. It's pulling back right now. Yeah, anyways. I don't know what to tell you. I guess I'm just going to close out my stream. There's only 4 people here. There's nobody to really fight with. I like a good fight. Good battle. Yeah. What are you going to do, right?
We walked the loneliest mile. We smiled without any style. We kissed all together wrong, no intention. We lied about each other's dreams. We lived without each other, thinking what anyone would do without me and you. to nothing we know. I feel so lonely way up here. You mentioned the time we were together so long ago, but I don't remember. All I know is it makes me feel good now. It's like I told you, only the lonely can play. Only the lonely, only the lonely can play. It's like I told you, only the lonely can play. Only the lonely, only the lonely can play.